Welcome into Jungle Tales, a pirate baseball podcast. We appreciate everyone tuning in whenever and however you're watching or listening, whether it's via Facebook, YouTube, or audio only in podcast format via Spotify. This weekend, East Carolina will be playing its final home series of the season against the UTSA Roadrunners, the American Athletic Conference regular season champion. Are the Roadrunners, and right now to preview that matchup, very excited to be joined by their sixth-year head coach, Pat Hallmark. Coach, we appreciate your time this evening.
Yeah, glad to do it.
Yes, sir. So before we dive into this team specifically, your background, you had a long association with Coach Wayne Graham, the legendary Rice coach. You played for the Owls, and then you spent a little over a decade under coach there in Houston. Tell us about that relationship with Coach Graham and some of those major things that you took away from him.
Well, a debt of gratitude. He gave me my first coaching job in college. He recruited me to play for him. I owe him a lot. So that's the first thing that's always on my mind when I think of coach. But I did coach for him for 12 years, something like that. So learned a lot from him. Really glad I got to do that. Yeah, he's just a great baseball man. You know the old saying, he's forgotten more baseball than I know. Probably holds true with Coach Graham. So unfortunately he passed away earlier this year, but he's missed, but I am grateful that I had him in my life.
Yeah, we at East Carolina certainly, like many schools, we're the victim of Coach Graham's success so many times down through the years, and definitely, so many memories of those excellent Rice Owl teams. But diving into your career, you got into it, after about a decade playing professional baseball, and you had success at multiple stops now as a head coach. And here at UTSA, you took over during COVID, and now in your sixth season, the school record for wins, 39, and here you are, with 6 games remaining in the regular season, and you're already at 37. So just talk about the steps that your program has made over these last 6 years.
Yeah, we've steadily grown. I think my first year we finished a little bit under 500 happened, but my first full season was the year after COVID, and I wasn't real happy with it. It is what it is. A lot of times you don't have your players in there yet, and you're trying to build something different that's already there. So, but ever since that year, that was 21, and then in 22 we were pretty good. We finished the season with an RPI of 38, and didn't get in the tournament. Back we were in Conference USA at the time, and came in second to Southern Mississippi, and had a good run over there in the conference tournament. So that's where it all started, was 22, and then 23 we were pretty good again. We got ranked that year for 5 weeks of the 14 weeks. We cracked the top 25. And then last year, those two teams were largely a lot of the same people, really good people, good character people, which is what we try to be. That's what we're looking for on the recruiting trail. We feel like player development happens a lot more with strong character people. So really good group with those two. And then last year we had a lot of new guys, and we were okay. We weren't disappointed with last year, but not as good as the other years and not as good as this year. So this year we got a good group, a lot of new guys again. We end up losing a lot of people to the portal, like you guys, I think, lost a few. We weren't sure what to make of that, but we tried to reload, and it looks like we got a little lucky, and we got some good ones, and we're able to keep the ones we did keep. Looks like we kept the right ones.
Yeah, definitely a different era of collegiate athletics, as you mentioned, with NIL and the transfer portal, and I'll circle back to that later on. I wanted to get your thoughts on those big picture topics. But this team specifically, 37-10, as I mentioned, 18-3 in the American. Definitely not surprised that you guys won the league, and I know you communicated that message during your weekly press conference, but you did seem a little surprised that you've clinched a share this early with 2 weekends remaining.
Yeah, no, I would be lying if I said I thought with 6 games ahead, we would already have clinched at least a tie. Yeah, I did not expect that. I thought we had a chance to win. I'm not even saying I knew we were going to win the thing. Not at all. With teams like East Carolina and so many others, Tulane's got a good group and a lot of good teams in the league. Florida Atlantic's always good, and Rob at Charlotte does a good job. So, but I did think we had a chance. But yeah, I am a little surprised we got it done this early. It's just a testament to the character of our players. I can't say enough about the quality of the people, irregardless of the baseball. The quality of the people on this team is fantastic. That credit goes to their parents and the people that are in their lives long before me.
You've obviously played pretty good baseball all season, but you're currently on an 8-game win streak, having won 12 of your last 13, and your RPI has risen to 20. You have those excellent road wins against Texas A&M and Texas, and then obviously you want to take care of business in Clearwater to get the automatic berth. But your club's in excellent shape. Should it not win the title down in Clearwater?
Yeah, that's what they're telling me. But we're trying to win the next game, and really, I mean, to be real specific, we have very specific benchmarks that we try to meet in every single game. And that's all we can do. At the end of the day, we can't always win. No matter how good you play, sometimes even winning is out of your control. So we really talk about sticking to what we control, which is the next pitch, throwing a strike if we're the pitcher, or making a positive swing decision if we're the hitter. And then if the swing decision is to swing, to take a pretty dangerous, aggressive, violent swing. And then when we're on defense, we're trying to make one error or less a game. So I don't mean to get too baseball specific, but that's really what we try to do day in and day out. We try to live in the moment and stick to what we can control, and then the wins will happen if you do that.
And those dangerous, violent swings, that has definitely been the case. Your team is hitting about 330 as a club, slugging over 500, and the 111 doubles jumped out to me. And something else with 340 free passes, more free passes than strikeouts.
Yeah, we to us again. I don't know for sure if it's right or wrong, but we talk a lot about on base percentage over batting average. We like people to be on base. That's our goal. So yeah, we talk about making positive swing decisions, and it's one pitch at a time. I think Cliff, I admire Cliff Godwin. I've listened to some of his stuff over the years, and I think he's got a similar message with the next pitch and one pitch at a time. I don't think it's too different. He's put together some really good offenses. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do. And the walk sometimes is a result of that, but we don't necessarily try to walk either. We try to just have a positive swing decision and a positive pass. So that's the goal. And at the end of the season, if you get some talented people, you can put together some numbers that are telling, and that's what we've been able to do this year.
Mason Lytle,
the club with a 370 average and 7 bombs, 55 runs batted in, 17 doubles. Tell us about Mason, and then some of those other key contributors in your lineup, of which there are plenty.
Yeah, Mason's an older player, so he's been around. He's from Houston, which is where I'm from. So I knew a lot of the same people that coached him growing up, and he went to one of the best high schools in Houston. Mason has played high-level, pressurized baseball probably since he was 8-9 years old. His brother was a college player. His dad played some ball. So he's everything you want. You just kind of plug him in the lineup and leave him alone. I joke with people all the time that I think I've coached – literally, I'm not kidding. I think I've coached Mason Lytle less than anybody. Maybe besides Anthony Rendon, maybe coached him less than anybody else I've coached. He's just a good player, very self-driven. He plays great defense too. It gets overlooked, but hopefully you'll see it this weekend. and he was preseason conference player of the year. So the other coaches in our league, they're aware of him. And yeah, it kind of starts with him on our team. But, Jordan Bain, I'm just looking at our stats, and he's next to him hitting 370 also. But Jordan's a big on base guy. And then we got some other guys. Tauzik, older player like Lytle, very mature at bats. They tend to take their best at bats in the clutch. So you need guys like that.
Tell us a little about your pitching staff. Connor Miles, Zach Royce, Braylon Owens. They've been your rotation, I believe, for at least most of the year, and then Connor Kelly and Robert Orlowski out of the bullpen. His numbers, Orlowski really stood out to me. 53 plus innings, a perfect 7-0 record, 5 saves.
Yeah. It starts with the 3 guys you mentioned, Royce, Owens, and Miles. They've been really reliable for us. Their numbers are not mind-boggling like a Yasavage was last year, but they're just steady, reliable people. They tend to throw strikes. They compete pretty good, and they tend to give you, 12 to 15, 16, 17 outs each time out. And those 3 guys have started every weekend for us. We've had the same 3 starters for 12 weekends, which is crazy rare in this game. It's just reliable. The reliability is a huge part of this. So every coach wants reliable people, and that's what they've been. And then, Rob's kind of been the key on the back end. Connor Kelly has kind of come on here of late. Really proud of him. But Rob's been kind of the stopper back there for us all year. Yeah.
Defensively, very solid 978 fielding percentage. And I know you had some specific remarks about your team defensively in this week's press conference.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm most proud of, because I wasn't sure. Not that I was sure we'd hit this good. I did think we had a good offensive club. And I did think we would throw strikes and we do those 2 things. That I was not sure after our fall, I wasn't sure about the defense. It was a little sporadic in the fall, but the guys have really bought into me griping at them and talking about defense probably more than anything, and just talking about, for us to get where we want to go, we just need to be, the word I like to use is boring. We need to be boring defenders. Which simply means make the routine play. So knock on wood, I hope we do that this weekend, but we've been able to do it so far.
Coach, circling back to the beginning of this conversation, this next question is from John White, my co-host, former East Carolina pitcher from the early 90s that was unable to join us tonight. He would like for you to discuss some of those teammates and also guys that you coached at Rice, because, of course, your career overlapped with Rice legend Lance Bertman.
Yeah, Lance and I were teammates. Pretty special player. I'm a little older than Lance. I was a junior. We both were new players. I was a junior college guy and got there, and Lance was a freshman. And it's kind of hard to imagine, even looking back when I tell the stories, but Lance was not Lance Berkman. He was actually, nobody knew how good he was except for Wayne Graham. Coach knew. But the rest of us kind of would kid Lance a little bit. He was very fun-loving, like he still is, and kind of a jovial-natured guy. And us older guys would tease him a little because he was so good at taking it. But, yeah, he turned out to be a heck of a player. And he was good that year. As a freshman, he set the school record for doubles, but he didn't hit the homers yet. But, yeah, just a special talent and a great person, yeah. And then as a coach, I was really blessed to coach a lot of good players over there. Anthony Rendon is probably the best one that pops out the most. But, yeah, it seems like we had 2 or 3 big leaguers on every team from 06 to 17. That's when I was there. So three World Series trips. And, Wayne Graham was just a marvelous man to work for. Real lucky I got to do that.
And final thing, going back to the climate of collegiate athletics as a whole, you referenced the portal, how you guys had lost some players to the portal. East Carolina lost to Zach Root, who's one of the top pitchers in the SEC this year at Arkansas. Bristol Carter to Auburn, and So what are your thoughts on the current landscape, and what is your approach as far as recruiting the portal and bringing those guys in as opposed to JUCOs or high school talent?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm naive or crazy, but none of it matters to me. Really, I'm going to coach who wants to be at UTSA. That's who I'm going to coach, and I'm going to coach them hard and love on them, and that's really all I can do. I mean, I can spend a lot of time bitching and moaning about it if I wanted, but it ain't going to get me anywhere. So this year has been so rewarding because we did lose a lot of guys. You guys lost Root, and we lost a kid named Ruger Riojas, who was an all-conference pitcher, and he's starting on Friday night for the Longhorns right now and pitching really good for them. And we just couldn't pay him what they can pay him at the end of the day. So I don't even blame Ruger for leaving. He's getting a lot of money over there, and we couldn't come close to matching it. So I'm just lucky I get to coach baseball, especially college baseball. That's the way I look at it. And, sometimes it's frustrating because if I had Ruger plugging into my pitching staff, we'd be better, but I don't. So I don't spend a lot of time on it. I love the guys I got, and we're going to make the most of it.
Really appreciate the time, Coach, and tell folks how they can follow you on social media.
I'm on social media, but I don't even know my handle, to be honest. I'm not a big social media guy.
Gotcha. No problem at all. But again, we appreciate the time. Safe travels to you and the Roadrunners. On your way home following the weekend. Here's to an excellent weekend of baseball, and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you, and I appreciate everything y'all do. You make the game better. You make our sport better. Everybody at ECU does. So we're grateful.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Pirate Nation, that is UTSA's sixth-year head coach, Pat Hallmark. We appreciate his time this evening as we get you ready for the final series of the regular season at Clark-LeClair Stadium. And be sure to follow us, as you see there on the screen, for our viewers at Jungle Tales Pod on X and Instagram, as well as YouTube. Click subscribe and leave us a comment. And you can also email us at jungletalespod@gmail.com. But that will do it for this edition of On Deck, and we'll talk to you soon here on Jungle Tales. And as always, go Pirates.